So I've gotten 2 requests recently for a recipe for vegan Pop Tarts. So that is what we're making today, and that is what I made the jam for a few days ago. So these are Strawberry Banana, gluten-free, vegan, oil-free Pop Tarts. So starting with the dough, you're going to use 1 1/2 cup of gluten-free all-purpose flour. This is the King Arthur gluten-free blend. You can also use the Bob's Red Mill 1-to-1. I really like that one. Or you could probably use a regular all-purpose or wheat flour if you're not gluten-free. And then next is 1/2 cup of tapioca flour. This is my favorite thing for gluten-free baking. It really adds that elasticity that you want. And then 1/4 cup of coconut sugar. And then 2 teaspoons of baking powder. For a little extra flavor, I'm using 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And now for the fruity part of this batter, and for what's really going to hold it all together, I'm using 2 chilled bananas. So they've been in the fridge overnight. And you're going to cut them in like you would cut in butter if you're making like a traditional pie crust or dough. And you're just going to keep kneading until you have a nice ball of kind of sticky, really supple dough. I did end up needing a little bit more flour. It will vary depending on the size of your bananas and how ripe they are and that sort of thing. So this is just a few extra tablespoons of flour. Add them if you need, if it's just kind of too sticky. Now at this point, I would really suggest chilling your dough for at least a few hours. It'll be a lot easier to work with that way. I did not do that, however, so I'll show you. It's a little bit harder to work with. It still worked out okay, but anyways, if you chill, it'll be a lot easier. So you're going to roll out your dough, and you want it to be like about a 1/4 inch thick. And you want it to be kind of approximately a rectangle, so longer in one direction than it is the other. Another thing I would suggest is before you cut it and fold it into your little pastries, I would go ahead and flip this whole piece of dough onto the parchment paper you're going to bake it on. I thought of a lot of tricks while doing this that would make it a lot easier that I did not do. So rather than leave it on the wax paper over here, go ahead and put it onto your baking pan. And then you're going to cut off the edges to make approximately a rectangle. If it's not perfectly a rectangle, it's fine. You can kind of pull it and stretch it and make it work. And then you're going to cut that rectangle into 4 smaller rectangles that are going to be your 4 Pop Tarts. So this is the jam that I am using. This is my banana strawberry jam from last video. So you can use this jam or you can use any jam you like. And then you're going to spoon a couple spoonfuls of your jam onto one side of the rectangle. I went a little heavy on the filling because I just like a lot of fruity filling. And then you're going to fold it over. You can, like I said, you can fix any little imperfections there and just make it approximately a little rectangle. You can cut it and make it more perfect. See, it's really hard to get off the pan and transfer, so that's why I would suggest building them on your baking pan like I'm doing here. So you're just going to repeat with your other little rectangles till you have 4 Pop Tarts. Like I said, if they're not perfect, then see, this time it tore, and so I just took another piece of dough and smashed it and made a top for it. And then you can take a knife and cut off the edges so they're nice little rectangles again. And then to get those classic little Pop-Tart pastry edges, you just use the tines of a fork and kind of press it down. So you want to bake them for 20 minutes at 350 Fahrenheit. The bottoms and the edges will be just a little bit brown. And then you're going to let them cool before you frost them. You could also, at this stage, refrigerate them or probably even freeze them if you don't want to eat them all right now. And save them in the fridge. They'll probably last maybe 2, maybe 3 days before they start drying out. In the freezer, I don't know, they could last a long time. I haven't tried that. So then for the frosting, I just made a little simple glaze out of some coconut whipped cream that I thinned out with extra of the liquid from the can, so it's kind of a drizzle consistency. You could also make a really simple glaze just with powdered sugar and a little bit of non-dairy milk. Or you could even make like a chocolate sauce, like with maple syrup and cacao powder, or date syrup, or date paste and cacao powder, whatever you want. I just like something kind of sweet and creamy on top. And there you go, there's your homemade Pop-Tart. If you break them open, you can see the lovely jammy inside. I love making them homemade Pop-Tarts because you can add a lot more filling than they do in the ones you buy, which was one of the reasons I never liked the ones you buy, because they never had enough filling. And the slight banana flavor in the dough really accents the banana flavor in the jam. That's why I really love it with this jam. But like I said, you can use any jam you like. I'll link to some other good, easy vegan jam recipes in the post for this recipe. So that post is found at feastingonfood.com. You can click right now in the corner and it'll take you there. It's all written out, so you don't have to watch the video again if you want to make them. And if you like this recipe, give it a thumbs up. If you ever have any other requests, you can always leave me a comment. I'm happy to try my best to make whatever you guys want. So subscribe here for more video recipes, and thanks for watching. Bye!